Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the big island of Hawaii. The one that's supposed to be so beautiful, the most beautiful place on the planet. Probably is. Most other places are pretty bad off right now. Hold on, some machines going by. I sure wouldn't want to be living on the mainland right now. There's too many things going on there. But I'm keeping tabs of the speeches that all these politicians are giving us for the election right now for the next 2 days. Michelle Obama gave a speech yesterday. Bernie's going to be speaking today. So it's interesting to hear what they say and then listen to what Trump does about it. I never saw such a horrible situation going on in the United States. We got so many things at negative levels. The president, for one. We got the black and white issue. We got the virus going on as well. And everybody's attacking everybody. It's just sad. I hope we can get through this. I don't know how good we're going to be able to do it at any level, and whether any aliens are going to help us at any level doing that. But what I brought up today, what I want to get into, I listened to more and more people talking. I just listened to one with Laura Eisenhower. She had a guest on. He's involved in Canada, and he was in that perverted pedophile sex thing with the government and everybody else for his whole childhood. And the Queen and all these people were having sex with these kids, and it's just a horrible story. But he also said he's working with aliens. The Greys are trying to help him, and how these people take one story, mix it with another story, and I think they think they're okay, but it's not even close. But he's trying to expose it. He's old, he's married, but I guess it happened for a long time. Now he deals with the Greys, and they're helping him. All these people that talk about these things about help, if Greys could help anybody, they should help the planet before they help these people, before we completely destroy it. But the idea that people get abducted, and I'm one for saying this, because they created this new word, which I can't stand at all, called experiencer. 90% of these UFO people all say they're experiencers now. And that means they only work with good aliens. They come into their bedroom and they teach them and show them and take them everywhere in the world, the universe, and they stick them back in their bed. But it's done in a good way. They don't talk about what really happens on their journey and what goes on when they really get abducted. So I said, the only way it's not abduction, if they land in front of your house, ring your doorbell, knock on your door, you answer it, and they say, "Excuse me, would you want to take a trip with us?" And you get on. That would not be an abduction. Any other way is an abduction. It's also one of the most spiritual laws that are being invaded. That's called if anybody's listening, the most important spiritual law in this realm is the law of non-interference. And 99.9% of all people interfere with everybody else. So is that right? No, it isn't. Do you create karma? Yes, you do. So are these aliens creating karma for us? Of course they are. But most people ignore the fact that it's still going on in great numbers. So until people are ready to open up their eyes and sift through the stories that they hear, because every good story has a back line where something bad is really going on, and they just don't want to admit it. But I'm going to let my co-host introduce herself and say hello. Greetings, Tina.
Hello, Tommy. Hello, everyone in the US and Hawaii. I'm Tina Bird here in England, in Southampton, and I run Hive, a little blog site, Human Individuals Visited by Extraterrestrials. I'm a Tina Bird on Facebook, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, or you can message me or Tommy any day of the week, or you can ask to come on the show or send a question in, and we'd be glad to talk the question over with you, or if you'd like to feature in the show, that would be fine too. I'm quite in agreement with Tommy about abduction is something that's very close to me, and there is a difference between, I know everyone says, oh, well, abductees now, it's an experiencer. They're just trying to decategorize it or not make it sound so aggressive or threatening or life invading and horrifying, and that it really is. So I think they're trying, to me, abduction is you are taken against your will You've not been asked. It's not been pleasant. You are frightened for your life. You do believe that you're going to die. These things are real, and to declassify them or downgrade them, if you like, to experience that. You know, if you can eat an ice cream, that's an experience. So it's positive and negative experiences as well. I know they all can't be bad, but you know, they're done covertly, they're done against your will. In my experience, I don't think, you know, it's been horrific. So yeah, I don't like the word experiencer. You know, if they want to call it experience, then fine, but let's call it what it is: abduction. So I'm quite with the abduction production team there. Yeah, and I think it does take something away from the abduction victims once you can't start calling it an experience. You know, you don't get attacked or mugged an experiencer, or you're a mugging experiencer, aren't you? No, no, it takes it away from that. It is a lot more serious than that, and people laugh and joke about it, but the government should be taking it more seriously. If a foreign invasion body is coming into our planet, into our airspace, into our home space, they're invading our planet, they're invading your privacy and physically taking your biological body, then that's abduction. And for the government not to know that's going on, for the British or the US or any of the world government in any country, it's not just here, to say that it's just one country. It's not. It's across the globe. It's happening now. It happens on a daily basis. It happens to, I can't be the only one, millions of people, and there's probably millions more that have been taken and don't even realise it. So you know, so for the government either to say it's not happening or they're not sure about what's going on, you know, that I know they've just opened up, I believe it's the Pentagon or the US authority one. I'm not quite sure about the US politics here in Britain, but I know is it like our Ministry of Defence here or the Pentagon in the States, I believe, that have just opened up, or Naval Intelligence Service have opened up research to categorise and research and document UFOs. But are they actually, along with UFOs, something a bit more serious? If they're invading our airspace, are they then invading our homes, which they're doing? Is that being looked at? And if so, could the rich government around the world could let us know? Because I'm sure me and Tommy would give you a shout out, and we support you all the way. Any country would like to say yes, they're generally looking into alien abductions now, or know of alien abductions. You know, there's a lot of people out there that like that peace of mind and clarity and clarification that this is being taken seriously. Something is trying to be done about it, even if governments can't do anything about it. Once people know what is going on and they're not crazy, and this is genuinely happened to people, then I think people are going to be a lot more accepting. It's not just, it's the stigma that goes with it, people pointing fingers. None of that should be going on. This is a genuine thing, and it's genuinely happening. It's like war in other countries, famine and poverty is going on in other countries. Whether it's been reported or not is a different matter. Whether, again, as of late, you'll see that more and more UFOs are appearing. They are being reported more on social media and across the news, different channels and different ways of communicating in papers. So a lot more countries are seeing more of this. It is now more being widely reported. And yes, there is, I've just seen a comment, well, Tommy's off for a second. I've just seen a comment from one of our guests to say that President Trump has created a UFO committee last Friday, which is a kind of blue book. Yeah, I agree with the comments there. And Tommy's back with us. Hiya. I didn't go there.
I just let you have full screen.
Oh, thank you. With John's comments, that it is kind of a blue book situation, but it shouldn't be just a blue book situation where they document it and file it. People want to know it's being documented, tracked around the globe to see what part of the globe is being more affected. They need to come up with more data. Where is this happening? What type of experiments? Who is remembering? Who is not remembering? What exactly is being done? who is dying from this, who's being put back, and who's being hurt by this. This is a kind of information they've built up over the years and what injuries they're sustaining. These people aren't being compensated in any way. They've got no reason to lie or come forward. Yeah, okay, some people may fabricate and bring things up, but there's genuine people out there this is happening to. This needs to be taken a step further now. So, you know, so they do need to be pouring more resources into it. If they're looking into UFOs in a naval service, because airplanes, boats, submarines, space stations, shuttles, and observatories are being visited, then you know, you know, then document it and share the data amongst the people of the globe. It's not just about which country has which data. We have the UN, or we have, you know, different types of, we have Help Save the Children, that's a global event. We show one global organisations that addresses UFOs for the military from each country, every country, not just rich ones, poor ones too. You know, we need to be helping mankind at this point, not me, you, her, him, haves and has not, and what different country or race. We should be protecting whole of humanity and not just certain pockets of it. We know this is going on across the globe, and now's the time to be sharing that data. More people will come forward, but more people will understand. Tommy, back to you.
All right, you know, that sounds great. It really does, and it would be incredible if it could ever go that way. There's one problem. I know you don't like to talk too much about religion and stuff like that, but until there's one world God, the world will never be at peace. You can't have people that believe different aspects of a God, that have totally different living standards and the way they live their life in other countries, to expect them to get along. I mean, countries, they have sex with little children. Children are allowed to have two husbands, two wives. I mean, children 5 years old are cooking dinners in other countries. We got realities where the women can't show their body. I mean, we got women where they're, I mean, countries where they're allowed to beat their wives if they don't have sex or don't take a shower, they could beat their wives. I mean, we've got a lot of other laws that way, way ridiculous than what we have in the United States. And to think we're going to have peace, no, the Muslims want to come into the United States and take it over and make the United States a Muslim country. So you can't base it like, oh, I don't believe in fairy tales. I don't believe in daydreaming, especially when we're going to change the world. This is hell. I don't care what anybody says. This is the only place soul, what it is, inside this body, can experience, see, and go through pain, suffering, see it, and be part of it all day long, all their life. When you leave this body, guess what? You don't have all these stupid things going on that we have to do here. And it's incredible at that point, and it only gets better when you move up from there. So when people say, well, we're going to have world peace, we'll never have world peace. We'll never have compassion around the planet where everybody's compassionate about other people, because too many people believe their God is that what they have to do, and what they created out of that, man's interpretation of that, created, like the Muslims believe.
Yeah, but then sometimes, sorry, Tommy, but sometimes it goes a bit more than religion. And sometimes, if you look what's happening in like Beirut, with the explosion and loss of life, and how that's affecting people's lives, daily things like having food on the table is sometimes more important than that overall religion. I can understand what you're saying, but people that are at war in other countries and are being killed, fine, but people being taken, abused in any country, even killed or murdered or put back, this should be looked at by that country. If they don't have the resources, then they should have a government or world government funding organization. They have a world space program, do they not?
Well, see, here's with that. Okay, no matter what goes down, every war we ever had in history was a racial war. All right, and that's scary. And it's and the wars we're having with aliens are the same thing. And we had 3 major wars with aliens already in space. So it's not like it's going to be anything other than religion. I call religion your belief system. I mean, if you believe in trees, that's still your religion. If you believe in dolphins, you believe in the sun and the moon, it's still your religion. And as long as it's not mutual, we can't respect each other's ideas and principles. And I would say I would never accept other people's principles, especially when it's so far from God, in my viewpoint. Sure, everybody has a viewpoint. And I'm doing a new show, and it's going to be called Beyond Your Truth. And basically, don't come on a show if you think you're not going to hear anything other than what you want to hear, because I'm not going to be talking about your truth. Most people's truth is stuck in the gutter, stuck on this planet, stuck in the karma of this reality. And they don't want to leave it. So here's the thing. We got aliens coming here. There's multiple races coming here. I mean, sure, there's probably millions of races in the multi-universe or galaxies and stuff like that. But how many people care about people on planet Earth? And why would they care about people on planet Earth?
We better start caring about people on planet Earth. We won't be here much longer at this rate.
We can't care about ourselves, like you're saying. We can't take it. Trump comes out just 2 days ago, and he's doing his tour of the United States, promoting himself for president, and says we need coal and oil. He's going backwards in time. He's not moving forward. He knows that oil creates jobs, and the jobs that these older people have that were stuck in the mines and stuck everywhere. You take that away, they got no jobs. So let's keep the planet polluted. And I challenge people because they say, well, he's so good. Well, he's destroying all the forests. They just released, I just got it from a native person. Today, Trump's going to start mining oil out of a reservation. So what they do, what Trump's allowing, is hurting the planet every which way. He doesn't believe in global warming. So the world's crashing because of that. I know Putin has his viewpoint. He likes global warming. He said he could do a lot more farming if they have more hot weather instead of like half of the year is freezing. So if he gets more months where it's hot weather, they can grow a lot more product. That's his viewpoint. So even that is a little bit twisted on the idea. But he also doesn't let anybody fly over his country spraying chemtrails. There's only 2 countries in the world that don't allow any plane to fly over their country and spray chemtrails. Every other country does. Well, most countries don't even care about it. But there's a reason why they do it. There's a lot of money being spent on that. Who's spending that money and why? People want to hear, oh, am I going to get my Medicare today? Or am I going to get my check? Yeah, that's important to you in the moment. But the rest of your life, what are you going to breathe? What are you going to be eating? Toxic food? How many people are going to have a job? And on top of all that, when the robot movement takes over, when there's less and less people being needed every year, which is happening little by little, and it's growing. I mean, it started off real little. How many people were put out of work because of robots, but it's growing rapidly every single year. Tesla said by the end of this year, all his cars will drive themselves. So now we got aliens coming down. What are they helping us do? Everybody's saying, oh, they're helping us. I did a show. This guy claims he's working with the government and grays and all this stuff, all the good grays and it travel in time and all. And I said, what did they do? Oh, they help people. I said, how? Name one thing. Oh, they help each individual. I said, what? Cure them of cancer? And the guy that was talking, his wife died of cancer. And he said that the aliens cured of it. Well, for how long? 1 day, 1 month, 1 year? I mean, cancer is going to kill you if you got it, unless you do the right things. But here's the thing. Aliens are here. I mean, I don't need disclosure on ships in the sky. And that's what people want to hear. You can go outside and prove it to yourself that it's real.
So I've got a question for you, Tommy. So people keep on yes about disclosure. Aliens have shown themselves to whoever they wanted over the years. Fine. That is a form. See, people expect disclosure in the human way. Yes, it's going to be in every paper. They're going to land somewhere, get their picture taken. That's a human observation. If you come from a different world, contact's going to mean different things to you. It's not going to happen the way we want it. It hasn't happened the way we want it. And if it was announced tomorrow, what would then be your next step? What is the next step in the plan?
Okay, the word is full disclosure. See, disclosure, it's like somebody goes into the room, they take off their coat. Full disclosure means you take off all your clothes and you see who the person is. All right, in this world, when we say disclosure, they're going to admit that there's ships above us in the sky. That's not disclosure. It's like, oh, let's find out what disclosure really is now, because now there's
ships in the sky because they're flying about all the aircraft carriers and what have you.
the thing that will prove, like when I say full disclosure, is what races are here, what are they here for, what are they doing. That would be disclosure. But they can't do that. The United States can't do that. Russia did. Putin said it straight out on Russian TV. But the United States, now he's sending me a text and everything else. Mars rover, helicopter, but whatever. He was talking about Trump going to start a UFO group of people. Well, I guess he's going to try to get all the UFO people to follow him. Not that there's that many. I mean, there's a lot. I'm sure there's a couple million in the United States that follow the whole UFO program. But I don't think too many more than that. So he's touching one small part of the people. But he needs every person he gets to try to stay in this time. But getting back to this thing about these alien races. Now, they work with people. Maybe they do have some inner reason to work with one person. But don't forget, they don't have feelings and emotions like we do. So if you're in bed and you're dying in pain, oh, we got to help that woman. She's in so much pain. I think about what's happening to you. They're not helping you. They should give you a couple new teeth to grow in, and they should do a lot of things for you if they can, and they're not. So, I mean, people that they're abducting, they're not really helping. I was doing past life regressions with people that were abducted years ago, and a lot of them didn't even know it. And what I'll tell you, anybody that has missing time, really, I mean, you're sitting in your chair, and it's 5 hours later when you open your eyes, and you felt like you didn't go to sleep, or you're in a car, and suddenly you open your eyes in your car, and it's 5 hours later, and you're still on the road driving. How's that possible? So when you have a situation like that, you don't know what happened. Now, and I'll tell you, you need to find a true hypnotist, sincere, honest, spiritual hypnotist to do a work with you. You don't want some fly-by-night in a phone book, I do hypnosis, without explaining and describing
You're a
who
specialist in the field of abduction.
Because people that don't know spiritual things and don't know anything about abduction can't explain it or help you with it. You can't talk about something if you don't know what it is. You can't talk about things like abduction if you didn't see it or know people going through it and watch it. So these people, what I was trying to say, you don't want somebody that's going to program you when they hypnotize you. I can make a person say whatever I want when I hypnotize them, but I don't want to do that. Some hypnotists like doing that. They give them a program. Well, you were abducted, right? Okay, yes, I was. They took your head off and they put it back on. Right, they did. I mean, it's like, give them the choice to say what really happened, and you got to let them pull it out, not you. You can't push them into a situation and force them into memories. When I did it, I always bring them back. My way of hypnotizing a person, you bring them to the safest, most beautiful point in their whole life, and you let them experience that, so that this way when you hypnotize them and you bring them into a bad event, you could always put them back in there and they could be back in balance. Because if you bring a person back into their world, they're back on the ship and they're cutting their freaking body apart, you're not going to be too happy, especially if you're aware of it. But I'll give it back to you, Tina.
Hi, all right, so we've had someone just come onto the show. Hiya there.
Oh yeah. He hears about the radio, the Geiger counter. Take it out and let's mention it right now.
You got another guest as well.
Greetings. I'm not good at saying words, but it's greetings.
Is it Anna Dyer?
Oh, he's talking about the car thing happened to him.
Wow. Does he want to come on and talk about it?
Let's see. How can I? Do you feel like talking online on this show? We can bring you on a day anytime you want. We'll do it. Set it up maybe next week, all right? If that's cool with you. Anada. Okay, that's cool. Greetings. It's a pleasure. Tina here has been abducted most of her life, and they did a lot of things to her. There's a lot of interesting things going on with her. Now, like I said, if we can get you on, we could ask you a lot of questions and you could answer them. I'd rather hear you say it than just type.
I hope you're okay, Ron, from your experience, just before we go any further. If you've had a missing time.
Oh, he says he'd love to talk. Cool.
If you want to tune into the show and come on, do you have any specific questions you'd like to ask? You can ask any question, and we'll get you on today or next week if you would like to speak live to us. But one, I'd like to make sure that you're okay. And two, was there anyone else in the car with you? And three, was it a good or a bad experience in your opinion?
Yeah, that's the most important question right now.
So another guy, John, I think he was on last time, has asked about my Geiger counter. So I've got this.
She's radioactive. Okay, and she's got it right there.
I'm holding this near the computer and it's not reading anything. So I'm a bit worried that the more I hold it towards me, nothing. And then I put it on me. Well, nothing today, Tommy.
Nothing?
Oh, 3. Oh, look, hold on. I'll put it down a bit. It's 16 underneath my armpit.
Put it next to your forehead.
On my forehead. I'm trying to get the.
You read it from there. Put it next to your forehead.
I don't think you can read it there.
See, she is radioactive.
See, that's under my armpit. Does that mean I've got bad
I mean, with all your research with aliens, do you know how they eat?
Never seen them eat.
They eat through their pores.
Human beings do that, though. If you put, like, mud on your skin, it absorbs it.
Said it was 2 hours. He said he doesn't have the memory of what really happened. That's why I'm saying I'm in Hawaii. I don't know where you are. Search it out. Search out somebody that's not going to charge you $1 million and say, "Well, come back every month and we'll."
Hi guys, another gentleman that's just come on and go. YT most censored. Good evening, everybody.
We know who he is. Yeah, how you doing? You got the link to come on if you want. But here's the thing. They can help you get to that point of going through those 2 hours, and whether you want to or not. In India. Oh man, my partner was trying to go to India right before this.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Right before this stupid virus came in, she had all the plane tickets and she lost some money. Thousands of dollars spent to get to where she was going. And she had to cancel the whole trip on top of it because Hawaii locked us out and everything. So it was a horrible thing.
Big fan of Praveen Mohan from India. He's a brilliant guy. I've seen him on the show a few times. And I do message him now and then and wish him happy birthday and that. He's fantastic investigator, and some of his stuff he puts on Facebook is phenomenal. Parts of India they've been showing.
People, like I said, I can send the links out to get everybody into the chat room. You want to come on next time? We'll do it as a group. I'd like to have you on and let people see that you're a real person, that you're not crazy, just calling in to make jokes. And so, I mean, I'm lucky. I don't have too many crazy people calling me in or coming on my show.
He just speaks to me.
Well, I got Tina. She's enough, right? I mean, but she's a real person. Her stories are super crazy. I mean, you couldn't make them up if you wanted to.
They're true, yeah.
They're true. That's the difference. I mean, a crazy person that's telling stories, just telling stories. I mean, I had it once when I was on a show with TJ Morris, and he just went on for about 20 minutes about explaining this whole UFO abduction. I said, what a bunch of idiots believe in a stupid story like that. So, I mean, you get bad people here and there. I mean, they like the word trolls, but like I said, I'll take what I get and then I'll deal with it. But no, we need to get a little more deeper into this. And Trump's not going to help us. When we say Trump's going to bring out the information, he will not. And I already wrote it on right underneath him when he just wrote on about what he did 2 days ago. And I said, Trump will not be able to, because Kennedy was killed before he could. Marilyn Monroe was killed right before she was going to release her story about aliens. I mean, when FEMA is like a terrorist group in my mind, and then we have MJ-12 is now MJ-32. They're the ones that control all UFO information in the United States. Nobody can go above them, not even the president. So unless the president's talking to one of them and working with them, which I was, he was killed, the one I was, talked about how one of them was an alien. And they were going to give, I'm telling you this straight out, they were going to give us honey. I mean, if you watch the original X-File movie, why it was all about the beehive, and that was a true story. They do work with the honey and stuff, and they're making it into a medicine that can cure any disease on this planet. And I was supposed to get it from one of the people from MJ-12, but he was killed. So, Trump's talking about, people are trying to make Trump say he's going to tell everybody about UFOs. When FEMA, not FEMA, when Majestic 12 says, okay, let's tell the world what we're doing. If they want to come out and admit how many people they let the aliens abduct and eat and all those other words, Uh, I don't see that happening too soon, and not in a good way. Because hold on, what time is it? We got it's a half hour.
Yeah.
Let me see. Can I
So
post a link? If I post it on here, would he get it? Let me see something. Hold on.
you should post a link. Yeah, post a link. While Tommy's just posted a link, I want to give a shout out there to local UFO groups. Now, I was speaking to someone about this the other day. There isn't many UFO groups. So, some parts of the world they're expanding, and they do have some brilliant things here. They have the UFO Truth magazine in Britain. They have Birmingham UFO group. They have the Hampshire UFO group, and just down the road from me is a little place called Titchfield, and there's a place called the Queen's Head Pub. And Ian Bentley runs the UFO group there, the local UFO group in Hampshire. And so I suggest that anybody in the Hampshire, Portsmouth, or Southampton area finds a UFO group or can start a UFO group. Just speak to somebody else in another UFO group, and start going to regular meetings. They're only like once a month. You can go, you can get advice, you can get help, you can see records, you can see pictures, you can see interviews, you can see films. Go and support your local UFO group. Watch us on YouTube, spread it on YouTube. You can see groups around the world, you can see our interviews. Go to your local group, have your input, have your say, and then meet up with other groups. You can do all of that. You can do it via the internet. Come and join us on the show. But you should go and support your local UFO group. Anywhere you are, anywhere around the world, please support your UFO group. Tommy.
Well, I do a couple shows. This show, we're pretty balanced, pretty nice, easy going, but we only deal with truth. Anything I find out fake or Tina finds out fake, we're not going to brag it and promote it. My other show, I will be much more on the attack. I don't like to hear the word lies and put it on my show and let people put it out there. So yeah, I go after a lot of people daily and wait for them to come out. But most people don't have the balls to put their mouth where their brain is, or either way, however you want to word that. They're afraid to put their truth against anybody else's. They'll promote their truth, but try to attack it. Oh no, they're afraid to, because it's not truth. Truth is indestructible. And even in the Emerald Tablets, Dorothy Lansing said, in the end, the very end, truth will destroy all lies. I believe that totally. And that's when the world would shift into go back to what it was when it was in Atlantis. I wish it was coming up. To both of you out there, if you clicked on that link, can you get into the show? Let me know. If not, I'll try something else. So we don't have a lot of time on this planet. 125 years. If you live to the end of your time frame, is not a long time. After 50, 60, it goes faster and faster. But what can you do in that time frame? Well, you could do nothing, or you could do a lot. You got a choice, and it's not becoming a super being and a six-dimensional being to do something. No, just wake up and figure out what you want to do, and then really figure out where you can put your attention or your
One
ability.
step at a time, daily choices.
Yeah. But think about what you want to do, how you want to help, where you would fit in. Even if it's helping animals, you're helping animals. I mean, if you're helping a forest, you're helping a forest. Help anything. I mean, other than that person's ego and your bank account. And sadly, we look at it all the opposite way. How much money do you have? How much are you worth? Well, the human body's worth, what, $2? Maybe a little more now. Maybe it went up to $3. If you took all the iron, lead, mercury, and every part of the body and sold each part of it, you'd be worth hardly nothing. So the body's not worth much. But the soul that's in it is you. And that's worth more than everything on this whole planet inside the whole universe, because that is you. And it will always be you. So aliens like to take that and use it, which is a scary thing. We'll get into that a little deeper some other time. But this, nobody got back to me. Maybe they're trying to get in.
Come on, guys, click on that link and join the show. Let me give you a grilling. Oh, wait.
Oh, no, that's the wrong link. That's the wrong link. Oh, man.
Tommy's put out the wrong link. I do apologise to everybody. Please forgive Tommy. We all make mistakes.
Everybody, sorry about that. Hold
So
on, let me
Tommy
get
probably
back
led
to
you up the garden path. I do apologise, people. It is not deliberate. It is a genuine mistake.
that was
It's
a show I
entirely,
did.
yeah, we fly by the seat of our pants here. We do fly by the seat of our pants, and we do apologise. It is human error, and it is a weekly show. We're going to try again in a minute. Tommy's going to put the right link up, and you can come in, and we will apologise to you on the air. Come in and join the show. While Tommy's putting up another link, I again will reiterate, please look on the internet, do your own research. Don't believe everything that comes out. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. I'll just tell them my experience. Go to local groups, find out where your nearest group and meeting point is. Email them, message them. You know, they're really bunch of friendly guys. If you're worried, you could take a friend with you. I do. I take someone with me all the time. And I know, you know, you could go on your own. They're just as helpful. They can give you directions. Please go and join a local group and support your local UFO group. And if you look at the bottom of the screen now, guys, in the chat and comments room, the private chat room, you'll see the link. Just click on the link, and this time it should bring you to our show and nowhere else. I do
Hopefully that'll
apologize.
get you here. Sorry about that. I was in somebody else's profile. When I clicked on the link save, it was to that show and not this one. We deal the best we can with people. We want people to come on that have anything important or feel it's important to say. If your truth's important and you really believe it is, please come on. I'm in high regards to people that want to tell the truth if they know it's true, feel it's true in their heart. I'm not saying program feeling it's true, because 90% of the people that are abducted believe it was a good thing, believe it was this, that, and the other thing. But will it help somebody? Most of those stories you hear from all the big UFO speakers have nothing to help people with. I mean, we're trying to figure out ways to give some kind of help back to people. At least I am. I know Tina is. But these people out there just want to tell you the world's going to come to an end. The aliens are going to do what they want. No, let's get deeper into it. What can we help each other? First off, oh, here comes somebody. Oh, he's coming in. Cool.
Share information is the biggest thing people can do. Don't sit alone at home. You can watch this all you want. If you don't like communication, share your information. Make a PDF file up, share it, put it out there. Sharing information with local groups, with each other on the internet will help get the information out. Somebody somewhere will be collecting data.
Okay, we're bringing him on, okay? Just so you know. Greetings.
Hello.
Hey, hello everyone. How are you?
All right, it's a pleasure.
I do apologize for getting your name wrong.
It's Anadi.
Anadi, okay.
Anadi.
I can't speak English anyway. But
Anadi,
it's a pleasure.
tell us about your experience.
Tell us what you at least know, what you experienced.
Yeah, this incident happened to me 4 years back, and I still remember everything very clearly because it was very strange. I was driving, and the last thing I remembered that I was, just coming out of the town, and after 2 hours, I don't have any memory about anything. I don't know. After 2 hours, I was at a place where I was going, and in between what happened, I don't know. It was completely blank. It was like what I remember. I felt like that I reached in 2 seconds.
Wow. You probably
I just blinked my eyes. I just blinked my eye.
Okay.
And I was there.
In India, are people into UFOs? Do they talk about it much there?
No, there's nothing like what you are saying, like go talk to local communities and something like that. No. In India, there's nothing like that.
Okay. Do you have hypnotism? Do people do hypnosis?
I've heard that there are some, but in India, it's not a very popular thing.
Whether it's popular or not, I'm trying to help you. I care about you. I don't care about anybody else right now. To get you to understand what happened would be, it's like opens your eyes even more. Imagine you knew everything that happened in those 2 hours, what really went down and everything, how they drove the car there with you not even being aware that you're driving the car there. I mean, all those kind of things are really interesting, especially when you find out it was you that did it.
It didn't happen again to me. That what it makes me.
A lot of things don't, and people don't realise they've been taken. They realise something's been not quite right, And do you suffer from nightmares or dreams of flying, anything like that?
Yeah, I sometime,
You dream of flying?
but yeah, sometime, but it's nothing like, very fascinating. It's just simple, like I'm flying, okay, or I'm somewhere, it's that place is not Earth.
Yeah, right.
In your dream
Yeah.
state, there's like, okay, when you start to go to sleep, the second right before you fall asleep is the most vulnerable you are to be abducted, because the mind's going to sleep, the subconscious, the soul's like, it's a separation right there, and it's easy to jump in at that point. So they could take you, and once they get there, if they put a chip in you, whether they did or not, I'm not saying they did or not, but if they did, they'll know where you are. Whenever they feel that they can get you without you being aware of it, they'll just take you, and you won't remember, because you don't remember what happened the first time they took you. So
But he has remembered. He's got 2 hours missing time.
No. I work with a lot of people that do, and I hypnotize them. I bring them back to those 2 hours. But what I'm saying is, at least you're aware of that. I mean, people go to sleep, blink their eyes, and just pass it off as just life, daydreaming, or whatever words that people are forced to believe in, where they don't look at what's really going on to them and in their reality. So you single, married?
Yeah, I'm married.
You have children?
Yeah, that time I was single. No children.
Oh,
Do you come from a big family? Are you the only male?
Sorry.
Or female? Do you come from a big family? Like, are they all females or mainly males, or are you the only male?
No. It's a nuclear family, and that time I was just living with my mother, and
Has your mother ever
no
said anything? Not normally. It's through the generations, or they take people by mistake, or it comes down the generation. But just to help you, if you'd like any help, or to take the matter further, I know a gentleman in India called Praveen Mohan. Do you know him?
No, I hadn't heard about him.
If you can follow him on Facebook or Instagram, and he's done a couple of the Ancient Alien series.
I want to share one more thing today.
Yep.
Today's it many times happened that somebody is talking, somebody is trying to fit something in my mind, like some words somebody is trying to put in my mind. Like today, it happened many times. Like from last few days, the UFO was coming in my mind, and I was like, okay, we think a lot. We think about a lot of things daily. So I thought it might be a thought. It might be a thought. Okay, but today evening, like somebody said, no, just type UFO on, YouTube and go live. Go for a live search. So I came.
It's so cool, because people, you need to listen to your inner guidance, and when little things come out, you have to pay attention to it, because soul knows what's going on, and it usually gives you warnings, it gives you advice, whether you listen or not. Most people don't, but when you do, it's always beneficial. I mean, knowing that soul's talking versus the mind is really critical. The mind comes up with ridiculous things, where soul can say, well, don't do that today, or do this today. I mean, it's such more important to listen to that aspect. But like, she has a friend, she'll let her write it out for you, so you can actually check on this person. There's always
Sure.
the saying is, when a student wants a teacher, the teacher appears. I mean, when a teacher wants a student, the student appears. It's the same thing. But I'm not saying you need a teacher, but you need somebody that can help you get a little bit further into what you went through. And you definitely don't want somebody mind programming you anymore. Well, it wasn't real. We're going to make you forget it all. It wasn't real. It didn't happen. And they could do that too. That's why I said you need to trust the person you. Oh,
can you see that, Praveen Mohan?
Praveen Mohan. Okay.
If you,
I'll look for him.
Okay. If you message him as well, fantastic, very well educated, lovely gentleman. Does some great things about culture in India. He does some great things for India. He's very good ambassador for the people, I think, as well. Show you things you don't see. Fantastic culture in India. He does brilliant work out there. Contact him and he can help you. You're not alone in India. If people ridicule you, or the communities are too far out, and you have access to the internet, he'll help you, or put you in contact with someone who can help you. You never know, it might lead somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure, definitely.
The reason why we do this show is to put help out there any way we can, understanding and truth, not lies, not stories. We're not here to make up stories, because That doesn't help people. Put your TV on and watch a show if you want stories.
Yeah.
I mean, even they're getting pretty ridiculous. I just saw one, and it was The Old Guard, Guard. An incredible story, but the Highlander, the movie, was my favorite. But this movie is about people, a group of people that are they can't die, and it's just the idea that it's so cool. I mean, the Highlander, the idea of never dying, but it's what soul is. Soul doesn't ever die, and when you become aware of your past lives and you become aware of something,
I have a question. Sorry, Tommy. I have a question for our guest. Can I just ask you? So,
Sorry,
you know what it would be
sorry,
like.
your voice. Sorry, will you repeat again? Your voice break.
Oh, sorry. The question's for you. Is if it was disclosed tomorrow across all the news stations that aliens did exist, which they do, and that they've landed and made contact, as in human contact. They have been doing that for millions of years, thousands of years, but they've actually come out and said to people, right, we're here, we're landed, we are real. What would be the reaction in India? And do you think people would want to ask questions? Do you think they'd want to be friends with him? Do you think they'd feel safe, or would it cause a panic? What would you think? That question's to you.
That's a very, if you see Indian media, first of all, if the news will break out, it will break out through media. Okay. So media will create panic. Okay. In India, media is more hungry for TRP, not for the news.
Ah, yeah, that's not good.
Okay. And
Yeah.
people here are, Indian Hindu religion, major population is of Hindus. Okay, so they will start connecting it to God, and
Yeah, Tommy said that.
Question. Now, are you you believe in Hinduism, right?
Yeah, I'm Hindu.
Do you work with deities? You personally?
Yeah.
All right. Let me
Yeah,
tell
I
you.
do.
Let me say this to you real fast. When I was young, when I was 6 years old, I met with a deity. I met with her from the time I was 6 to the time I was 12. Never knew who it was or what it was. When I was 25, I worked with a Tibetan teacher, and he told me who it was. And I started working with her directly. It was Green Tara, and then she brought me to two other deities. One's Manjushri, and one was Durga. Now Durga is the highest deity. I mean, not the storybook Durga, because they make her a deity like everybody else, like Shiva and Durga and all those kind of things. But the real Durga, which is a higher deity, is more like a god.
The real Durga you were talking about, Adi Shakti.
Okay.
She created, so according to Hindu mythology, I don't call it mythology because I believe it to be true, so I call it history.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
yeah,
Hindu,
so according to Hindu scriptures, Adi Shakti, she's the most powerful and she's the most upper.
Well, I met with that being, and to me, that she's the most incredible deity because she's the most powerful as well, and she's on the soul plane. So, but there's other deities. There's multiple deities all the way down. But when I met Green Tar when I was little, she was taking me to all these realms, not planet Earth. I didn't stay here. My learning wasn't about planet. There's not much you can learn here that's going to help you when you move into the next realm.
Transcend, he means.
I was going to say trans over, but mine's incarnate. I call myself an incarnate, aware of all my past lives, incarnating into this world to finish my incarnations. That's what I'm about. I'm aware of all my lifetimes back to Atlantis. I mean, I remember parts of every frame. I was just about every kind of preacher, minister, rabbi, all those kind of words. But what I realized, I wasn't never a killer. And I guess that's why my karma is in a balanced state right now. When you kill somebody, your karma will stay there for a long time, meaning a couple of reincarnations because of that karma.
Yeah, that's what we believe in, the karmic chain, the karmas. What you do, you get. And we believe in karmic chain to next life also.
You know what I say? Car is one of the easiest ways to pay karma. Your karma.
Oh.
Because you have a car accident, you get a flat tire, you run out of gas, and all these things, and it's always money, and it's always pulling you out of where you think you are.
I have a genuine question. Sorry about the karma thing. I've got a question, something along Tommy's lines. I had a dream. Do you know what I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right. You know, the Naga, is it like the snake god? Big snake. I had this really weird dream that I was in a lab or a tomb, and there's a wooden box, just a plain wooden box on the shelf, and this thing opened up in this huge white snake, giant snake. It was huge. I mean,
how many heads?
Sorry?
Heads.
How many heads?
It had one. It was like it was huge. It came out of the box, slid on the floor, and as it stood up, it towered over me, and it had like ruby eyes, and had like 6 or 8 blue markings that looked like sapphires down its body. It didn't want to hurt me, but it didn't talk to me or anything, and it was huge. It was
okay, tell me one thing. After your this dream of snake,
it bit me
do you heard? Sorry?
I had a dream. It bit me on the tummy. It come down a bit because I've got to do it, but it won't out.
So after that, did you get any good news after seeing the dream? Any good news? Any financial?
I might have done.
Something related to finance, something related to promotion, something like that.
I had the dream about a year later. I had the dream again, and this time the snake was
because
smaller.
according to our books, if you see snake, we have a complete books regarding dreams in which everything is given. Like if you see snake, what does it mean? If you see rat, what does it mean? Okay, so I have to. I really exactly I don't remember, but I have to see. But seeing snake in dream is a good. And
it was absolutely, it was monstrous. I thought I was going to die. It was definitely a dream. It was a dream. It wasn't like I hope there wasn't there.
Definitely a dream.
Sorry.
We classify things as a dream.
Yeah. Well,
Dreams are some form of reality at the level when we're in it. I mean, some are created by food and just desires, but many of them are symbols of ourselves.
But I had the same dream a year later. It was exactly the same dream in the same place with the same snake, but it was smaller. The following year, I had the same dream in the same place, and it was an ant.
A what?
Ant, an insect on the side.
A little ant? Well, maybe
it was an ant.
Because we take these things very seriously. Even sometimes I do that. When I see something in my dream, like snake or elephant, or so I go and I Google it. Okay, what does it mean? So and I find there's a lot of websites are there which tells you what this particular things mean.
I think it wanted me to follow it. It wanted me to go somewhere, but I'm not sure what it wanted me to do.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot to that, Tina. If you have it twice or 3 times, there's a symbol, a sign pointing to something important. Like he said.
It's the same place. It's a tomb. I've inside a tomb with it.
Okay, stop the laughing. Get to reality. Get to the facts. It's helping you, and you need to figure out what it means. Yes. All right, and it's a good thing. Yes. When you're given signs and you're aware of it, it's always a beneficial thing in your life. Now, I have a little book. It's a native book written by native people about what each symbol is. Symbols have a specific meaning in general, but some people have different symbols that come out of that per person. I mean, water is usually purification, but if a tidal wave takes over your house, takes over your body, maybe it's a purification, but it can have different symbols per the person. I mean, when a person translates it, they translate it to the specific, what it's supposed to mean, or what the general meaning of it is. But it takes more form on your reality of who you are and your awareness. But the symbols that you gave, like a snake, like you said, being super big, then a little bit smaller, and then small, something's taking away from you while you're growing within it. So there's a lot to learn there. The rubies must mean something too. I don't know what a ruby means, but even the llamas, when they burn the llamas and they leave rubies there when they're burnt. Now the Tibetan people take their Milarepa and all those ancient deities, not deities, high lamas. When they get burned, they leave little rubies and diamonds, and they put them in this gem show, and they bring it around the world twice a year. But Do you know much about the rainbow body? That's a Buddhist system, but I mean, everybody's trying to absorb it now.
The Kabbalah.
Let me just say real fast, we don't have much time if we keep going or not.
Right.
But when a high Buddhist goes into their rainbow body, when they die, they shrink to about 1.5 feet high. They wrap them up and then they burn them. But a crystal's left there, and this light comes out of it, and that's their rainbow body. But very few people attain that or will. I mean, the body actually shrinks. It's not like a fairy tale. They film it, they show it. So it's something incredible for them, and it proves that they did attain their rainbow body. But
just before we run out of time, sorry, Tommy, can I just ask one more question? So what is your take? Do you believe in the abduction phenomenon? Do you believe that people are genuinely being taken? That's for you.
Did you hear that one or not? He's got to think about that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I do believe in that. I really believe in that people, sometimes people go missing without any trace, without any, in today's electronic world, you can't find them. Today, everyone have Facebook. Today, everyone have smartphones. And when you see that somebody is gone missing and you can't find that person, then there is a mystery.
Yeah.
Well, Tina, I know you're leaving. I might keep it going a few more minutes, but it's always a pleasure. She's with me every Tuesday, and we try to do this show every Tuesday. I do another show, but please, we're going to let her go. So, Tina, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Call me, text me, anything outrageous, strange. She has UFOs over her house all the time. She films everything's going on in her world in the UFO realm. But stay safe. Stay healthy like you're doing right now. It's good to hear that you're okay today. So peace, love, compassion to you.
So goodbye, everybody. It's lovely. Thank you very much to have our guests and our people in the chat room too. Goodbye to everyone in the chat room as well. Thank you very much for being our guest tonight on our show. Tommy, I'll see you next week. And that's goodbye from me. Tina Bird, you'll see me there. E.T. Gal. And I run Hive on the Facebook and on the internet. And you can find me on Twitter and here on YouTube. Good evening, gentlemen. Have your questions ready for next week. And I shall see you next week. That's goodbye from me in England. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
She's such a nice person. We've been doing the show for months now, and we get along. I mean, we kind of have this thing, though, and not a lot of the UFO people do. There's not many good aliens. All the things that are happening aren't really beneficial to help the human race move forward in any way. They take blood. They made clones of her. They got they made a whole family of her. And then she can communicate with them. And the alien race doesn't know why she can communicate with them. But they bring her on a ship a lot. So she's going through body problems. She's exposed to radiation. And I keep making her test herself to see how bad it is when we're doing a show. I mean, she's losing her teeth. She's losing her hair. She's losing her fingernails. So it's all the signs of radiation poisoning. And that's why I made her get a Geiger counter. But she went out to a crop circle last week. In England, 6 crop circles were made in about a month and a half. Really big ones, and elaborate crop circles. You know what they are, right? And she went inside it. She went inside it. It was radioactive, but it didn't have any magnetic energy, which is kind of strange. Usually there's a magnetic energy when you have radioactive fields. But that she just did that recently. So I worry about her getting any more radiation than she has. But she's really cool. And like I said, check out the name she gave you. Maybe there's some
I will.
Or something. I have a friend. I don't think he would be beneficial for you. I don't bring it up because he helps people get in touch with it. But it's not like you want to get rid of anything. You just want to get in touch what really happened. You want to know what that is before you do anything with it. You have to know what it is. I mean, it could be beneficial.
Yeah, definitely.
The awareness is beneficial, and being aware of I'm aware of all my past lives, and basically. Now, I don't know how much you know about because Jesus was a man. He wasn't God. Never claimed to be God. But Jesus' disciples, Thomas went to India, and he was trying to teach in India. So there was good things out of all of it, no matter what people say, how real, and everything else. But they never claimed to be God. And the teachings that they were bringing was about soul. And people can't relate to that, especially dying and leaving the body. People don't relate to that. Jesus showed that, and that's why he came, not to be the healer, take away everybody's sins. He was trying to teach them how to get prepared to travel into the higher worlds, getting closer to God, not staying here. He didn't say stay here. He said give your life to God and you'll have eternal life. I mean, he never said anything to say about stay on planet Earth, you'll be happy forever. No, you won't be. I don't see how people could be happy. But no, I'm glad you actually came on. I'm glad I got you on. But feel free. I do the show every.
Mine?
Well, yeah. Here's my email. Do you see it on the bottom there? Hawksblood 1.
Yeah, I see.
Send me an email, and that's where I can actually.
Hawksblood1 at AOL.com.
Yeah, it's real easy. But this way I can actually get you a link and get you on in time and everything, be part of it. But
sure, definitely.
Like I said, we only try to deal with truth. I mean, I don't even go to. Sorry about that. Too many people are just telling stories, multiplying their stories, magnifying them, and it doesn't have any help to a person. Saying what they did, all these planets they went through, and they went through all these bases. What's it have to do with us? We're not going to be going there anytime soon. I know I don't want to, and I wouldn't want to. Why would I want to go to another planet? Am I going to get the same dessert there? I live for dessert, and I'm not going to get what I want on planet, whatever I go to. And I shouldn't.
True. That's true.
I don't want to eat other people either, so I'm happy where I'm at. But sorry, John. Oh, John, sorry I didn't see you there. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you want to say something?
I'm okay. I'll catch you next.
Okay, cool. So what I'm trying to say is we're doing the best we can. She's doing the best she can. People around you don't like what you do when you mention UFOs. They like to make you into something other than you are, like crazy. I dealt with it most of my life. I worked for the phone company. Do you know I had a court case against the New Jersey phone company? And they were actually trying to say I got hurt on a UFO. I got hurt on a job. And because they knew I was dealing with UFOs, I had to go to doctors and everything. And they're asking me questions about how I got hurt on a ship and all. I said, no, I didn't get hurt on a ship. Because I did a TV show. And I was talking a real TV show on everything. And they caught a glimpse of me on a TV show talking about aliens. So they said, oh, you got hurt on a ship. And they really expected me to say yes. I mean, I wouldn't want to say yes to that because it would just prove that I'm crazy in their viewpoint. And I'm glad I didn't. But the case went on for 2 years. And then my lawyer retired. And I got a new lawyer. And he wanted like $20,000 to keep the case going. And I didn't have that kind of money. So I had to drop the case. But, you know, all my life, I've been lucky or unlucky, gifted, ungifted. I was next to a Bigfoot, about 1.5 feet away from him. I had a friend who actually owned the Stardust Ranch. Went out there. Aliens are there. Demons are there. The vortex is open there. All kinds of balls of light coming down. So I got to be in. I saw my first alien ship when I was 6. I saw my first alien when I was 12. So I consider myself gifted that way. Not that I would have wanted to be pulled into this whole realm the way I have been. I mean, I wanted a family, be happily married, and that would have been happy for me. And that never happened. But I'm glad I'm where I'm at now because I would have never attained and been able to do and go where I'm going to go when I die. I mean, even Buddha said every second you should be thinking about death because every second brings you closer to it. And where you're going to go, what you're going to do is important. And you really don't want people telling you what that is. Because everybody's experience, even I had 5 death experiences. And when people talk about them, oh, I saw an angel, I saw my mother, and I couldn't go and had to come back. No, that's not what it's about. The mind can't perceive what happened, so it gets such a limited information about it. So I've been through a lot. So like I said, you want to work out some things and talk some more about a lot of different things. But I suggest you work on that idea. Maybe he can give you a little more help as far as being in India and getting somebody to work with. I mean, I'm in Hawaii. You wouldn't believe it. About 60% of everybody here says they've been abducted or they were next to an alien and stuff. whether they're all on drugs or not, which a lot of people are. Everybody near the ocean sees the green orbs going into the ocean. We do have a race here, the aquatic race, and the Pleiadians come here as well. So I mean, it's a double-sided sword when people talk here. But most people, if you talk 8 out of 10, will at least seen a ship or an alien. Whether they were abducted or not, it's a different story. Some people say they were. I know 3 people. A Native American who's living here said he's abducted all the time. So it's kind of an open situation here in Big Island of Hawaii. So I never went to India. My partner was trying to get there right in around December. Our plane ticket was to go there, and everything got screwed. Oh, we're gonna hear guitar. He's playing us some music. You're gonna sing a song?
Strings on.
Oh,
I gotta put these strings.
Oh, all right. My partner's a singer. She plays guitar.
That's nice.
She's got a real nice guitar. But no, look, I'm going to end the show. But like I said, you got my email.
Yeah.
Text me, and then we'll make sure that we get a show set up. Maybe next week we could do a little bit more. And John, when you get a question, if you get questions or anything, write them down so we can get into them if you want anytime. I'm a rebel. I'll go against everything we believe is true anytime, especially when I know it's a lie. And to me, it's a lie because I proved everything I know. I mean, I died 5 times. I spent half of my life leaving my body. I spent half of my life learning about all my other past lives. So yeah, it's critical. Now I'll tell you this: in Atlantis was the only time this planet was in peace. It was in balance. There were 9 races here, 9 different colors. That's why one of each of the colored races became a deity. The blue race, the green race, the crystal race, like Green Tara, even, oh man, who was a blue person? I can't think of the name. Oh man. Who was the Indian god? The other Indian god, Krishna.
Vishnu.
Right.
Vishnu.
So,
Vishnu, Krishna, Ram.
Right. See, these man takes stories and twists them to what he can understand, which is usually about maybe that much. Even Jesus couldn't teach about God because they didn't know what God was. He had to use a simple word, Father. Everybody knows their Father loves them, hopefully, and takes care of them. So that's why he said in the Father. Because if he said God, they said, what is a God? I mean, from after Hinduism died out, when these other religions like Egyptian religion, Mayans, and they started following aliens, any concept of a God was disappearing. And we got Moses creating his scenario of what God was. I have an actual picture of a burning bush that I shot. So, the idea of seeing God as a burning bush is his translation of what he experienced. I mean, who wrote the 10 Commandments? Really, he did. Whether people want to know that or not, that's a different story. But see, there's truth behind everything, whether you want to look at it or not. Like, who made the pyramids? Why did they make the pyramids? Well, is it beneficial to us right now? If it's not beneficial to us, it's not really important. Now, a lot of the native people are coming out and saying the Sasquatch people help them. Help them what? There was 50 million native people here 400 years ago. Now there's less than 1/3 million true native people in the United States. Did they help them in anywhere along that line? I don't think so. So when people say things, they just say it because they want to. They don't look at the facts. They don't analyze the situation that it's coming from. And they just like to make stories. All the books out there, how much truth is in any of them? When it comes to the UFO world, well, I work for the government. We were Corey Good. He's going on like he was next to like 300 aliens. Okay, 300 aliens means 300 days. And how many times, how many places, and where was he that long to spend that much time to see that many aliens in a period of time? Even that is hard to put together. And then to say that the world's going to end and things that this one race, the blue race, is going to show them the past, present, and the future. And he said, be destroyed. So we get information, the way we translate it. That's why I'm saying you have information there. It's in the memory. Its soul knows it. It just has to be translated now. And you'll find somebody. If you focus on that, and if it's important, you need to go forward. I mean, Spiritual growth is only important when you make it important. Spiritual growth doesn't happen if you don't make it important. Nobody
I
grows,
agree.
nobody grows spiritually on this planet if they're not going to focus on it. Saying I'm spiritual like these people do. Why are you spiritual? What's your definition of spiritual? I ask people to say, give me a definition of spiritual. And they'll always say, well, it's my truth. What is your truth? That you're a God? And that's people's truth now as well, which is scary. If you think you're God, all right, that means you can do anything you want because you're the creator. And that takes away morals. It takes away a lot of different things. So the scenario of the things we create in our reality is not beneficial. And the words that they're using. Now, do you have a definition of ascension?
Sorry, I didn't.
Ascension.
Sanction.
Ascension.
Sorry, I don't know. I'm not able to understand.
Okay. When you go from this world to the next world, it's ascending from this level to the next level. Ascension.
Okay. From this world going to another world.
When you die. And
like leaving body. When you die, we'll leave a body.
That's ascending to a higher level or to a different.
Okay, ascend. Okay.
But ascension, which a lot of the UFO people are using now, say they ascend. We went through ascension, meaning they went to a spiritual thing, and now they're spiritual. I said, what makes you spiritual now? I challenge everybody to use the word. I say, because I know one person that went to ascension, Jesus did. All right. I'm not talking about deities, that they're beyond that, but Jesus was one of the only physical people in a physical body that went through it. He went into the pyramid and out into where he learned his psychic abilities.
Let me tell you something. If you might have heard, in India there's the biggest fair, Kumbh. Have you heard about it? A Kumbh Mela.
No.
It's a biggest fair of sadhus. You know sadhus, Sanatan Dharma, the old
right.
The sadhus. So there are a lot of sadhu. They come in that fair, and almost let me convert it into almost 2 crore people visit in those 1 month of time. It's the biggest in the world, and it takes place at Allahabad.
Really? Well, that sounds.
So there are a lot of sadhu comes who just leave their body and they go to different dimensions, and their assistants, or you call disciples or whatever, they protect that body for so nobody do any harm to that body for years.
Right.
And they leave that body, and the soul goes out, and they go and they roam around, and they'll come back after 2 days, or they'll come back after 2 months, or maybe sometime. I've met one person. He for week he goes away, and what he say to his family, just don't let anyone enter my room, and let nobody touch my body or anything. And do
you have baby? Do you follow?
Sorry?
Baby Buddha? Do you know anything about Baby Buddha?
No, in Sanatan Dharma, Hinduism.
Well,
okay.
He's one person. He said he sat under a tree for 15 years.
Yeah, he's a ninth what you say. He's a ninth incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Buddha.
Oh, okay.
And he sat under a tree and did meditation for 15 years.
My friends went to see him, and she was with him. She tried to bring him back to Hawaii. He's old already because he was young. Now he's, I think, late 20s right now. He's a really good looking person. He speaks very little English. I mean, a lot of his first stuff is translated. I mean, he speaks simple words like protecting the earth and the ground and the plants. I mean, he's a very simple speaker. I mean, I'm not saying bad or good, but it's simple. And people need to know that we have to respect the earth first. To go any further.
Absolutely. Because if you go, just behind you, I see there's a one Natraj behind you on your
Okay.
wall.
Okay.
Okay. And if you might have heard in Hinduism, like Hindu is not a religion. Hindu is just a name given by Britishers. The religion is Sanatan.
Okay.
So we used to live across the Sindhu River, so they started calling Sindhus, and it became Hindus. Okay, so the real religion is Sanatan Dharma. And
Really?
there is a and you might have heard a mantra, Om Namah Shivaya,
Mm-hmm.
in a Sanatan Dharma. Om Namah Shivaya.
Right.
So Om is the sound of earth rotating.
Right. That I know.
Okay. And Namah Shivaya is a mantra. It's a 5-word mantra. Okay. And these 5 word Namah Shivaya, these are 5 elements of earth. So even our religion teaches, the biggest mantra in a religion teach us to respect the earth. The Na is for water, and Ma is for ground, and Sha is for fire, and Y is for air, and Ya is for universe. So this means that we you know pray to these 5 elements to protect us, to bless us.
Well,
So
that's
i
cool.
completely I completely agree with you that earth, we need to first care about the earth.
As long as you're in a physical body, we need to respect where we walk. And I say I have to be responsible for every action I do. I mean, and I'm not God. I'm not claiming to be God. I'm claiming that's the only place I want to really be when I keep getting closer. I keep getting closer to it. I know I will never be with it, but it's always one step
Mhm.
closer to it. And that's all that matters. When you keep moving forward, you never reach the highest because there is no highest. It keeps going forever. So to think
it's
that, and
it's endless.
right. So, I mean, to think that people say, well, I'll catch up to God. No, you won't. Because if 10 trillion people learn something today, God knew that yesterday. So, the idea of that happening is like so delusional. And in a new
we
age where
call it we call it Brahma Gyan, a Brahma
Brahma Gan,
knowledge,
oh, okay,
Brahma Gyan. And that knowledge is like, it's very, very, very difficult to get that knowledge, because only God has that knowledge.
right. I know, I agree totally. But look, it's been such a pleasure. And just email me and we can keep
Sure, definitely. I'll email you.
all right. It's been a pleasure. John, I'm glad you came
Same here.
on. Next week, if you have questions, please. We always keep it open for anybody to ask questions or be part of it. I wanted this to be a place where people come to find or hear whatever might help them. I'm not going to be a psychic. I don't want to. I mean, TJ Morris, I did a show with her and she wanted me to do readings. I say I can only do life explanation readings, meaning where you are in life and what you could expect by what you do. I'm not going to tell you where you got to go, what you're going to do, because you have to do that. And you should never let somebody else tell you that. It's all
We
about
have to
you.
figure it by ourselves. We have to listen our inner voice.
John, it was a pleasure. Next time, all right? Peace.
All right.
Hey,
I'll send you.
pleasure too. We'll talk soon. Thank you for coming on.
See you.
Bye-bye. So again, it was a pleasure. Thank you. All right, everybody. That's it for today's show. I hope you like it. Hope you got something out of it. Please, we're open for questions. Just email me or Tina. Mine's hawksblood1al.com. I will be doing another show, like I said. I did a couple shows over the past couple weeks, and it was really hardcore because I was allowed to debate whoever we brought on. But again, he chickened out, the person that was running the show, so I had to decide I didn't want to do that either. But till next time, get what you can out of life, enjoy it, or try to follow the laws that exist, because it's no good not going against them. Jesus said, you live by the laws that you have. If you don't like them, change them. change the laws if you don't like them. At least try to. Till next time, again, pleasure.